Hi guys, welcome to the Best Agent YouTube channel. I'm Charlie Lambert, I'm the founder of Best Agent. Now, those estate agents among you who've been following my content, both here on the Moving Home with Charlie channel, I am aware of substantial levels of frustration amongst some agents about what I'm saying about the market. I want to start in this video. I'm going to explain exactly how I think you can use deliberate corporate overvaluing as a weapon to fight back against deliberate corporate overvaluing. I have given this endless amounts of thought. What everybody needs, movers and agents alike, is more transactions. The worse overvaluing gets by the worst culprits of it, the more stagnant the market becomes, the harder transactions are, and the greater the threat to good agency businesses. And I am on the side of good agents. I'm on the side of all agents. If you've got someone's home and they need to move, I want to help you help them move. Now, please don't think that I don't fully appreciate and understand the scale of the nightmare and challenge of winning sellable instructions in the face of rampant overvaluing by the worst offenders of that. And the worst offenders of that are the ones who do it as a deliberate strategy. They get large quantities of listings, they lock them into long sole agency contracts, and they still manage to earn money off them from mortgage and conveyancing referral fees, even if they don't sell their home. It is actually, it is an effective strategy for the large corporate overvaluers, and it is killing small agency businesses. And the one thing that you must do because if small, good, honest agents don't stand up against this and fight back against it, they will continue to expand their market share. The bad corporate overvaluers will continue to expand their market share of listings and continue to make the stagnation of transactions worse and worse and worse. And therefore, and of course, right, the more people, the more that anybody, whether it be estate agents, whether it be house price indices, whether it be lenders, whether it be mortgage brokers, the more false positivity and hope that's created in the media and by estate agents that house prices aren't going to fall, when we all know that they are falling, evidenced by a 30% increase in the number of properties selling at auction, and lots of other stuff, right? Which, privately, I've had agents admitting to me that house prices are definitely falling more than the indices are saying. The worse the problem gets, because, and here's the problem, I understand that the problem is what the sellers are thinking when they choose their agent. This is the root of the overvaluing problem that's killing the housing market. Okay, the root cause, or the point at which I think we need to intervene to solve this problem, is the seller's perception that the best thing for them to do is to sign up with an estate agent who's given them a very high valuation, to have an unrealistically high asking price, because they think that's how they're going to get. And in a weakening economy where more and more people are worried about their jobs and their ability to pay their mortgage, and people are fearful of their financial situation, it is an understandable human reaction that sellers are going to cling to any possible hope of achieving a higher price for their home. And that is the hope that the deliberate corporate overvaluers are exploiting to win their listings. And in doing so, they're letting those people down, because any agent worth their salt knows that the higher the asking price on initial launch, the harder the job of actually getting that property sold. So I want to spend the rest of this video talking about exactly how you, as a competent agent that actually can get properties sold, if they're listed at the right price, about how you can change the seller's mind. Because I've identified this as the opportunity to solve this problem. If you, in your marketing appraisal, are able to enlighten the seller as to the risk of overvaluing and being over optimistic about price, increasing the risk to them of not selling at all, and if you can convince them of the truth of the situation, which is that properly marketed, their house will fetch whatever the market will support and no more. That's the best that they can hope for. And that if they want to move, they've got to find out what those offers are so that they know what they can offer on their next home. Without an offer on their current home, they can't make an offer on the next home that's going to be taken seriously in this market. You know that. Other agents know that. Sellers don't know that. The sellers think, we'll put a house on the market at this price. We'll assume we're going to get, a few percent below that price. So we're going to assume that our budget for the next price is this. We're going to go out looking. And it's all a waste of time. And it's wasting agents' time because those sellers aren't going to move. Why? Because they were seduced and tricked by corporate overvaluing into listing with them. And if we can persuade sellers to understand that the only way to get the maximum price for their home that this market will afford is by listing it at the lowest reasonable, sensible asking price that attracts the most buyers and therefore competing bidders for their home, and that is not only the best way to get the best price, but also the fastest way to get an acceptable offer for them to then start moving on. Only by explaining this process to them is there a chance of making them think twice about going with the overvaluing agent. And what I want to do, and I want to help any agent watching this who says, okay, Charlie, I like the idea of what you're saying, and I want to use it to win instructions. Help me, help me, help me. I want to help, right? I will happily have private video calls with agents who want to have this discussion. And I can help because I've spent 20 years in estate agency offices becoming part of teams of multiple different agencies. I know what it's like. I know how it works. I know what you're up against. Okay. But this is what I would say to a seller. I would first of all say to them, are you aware of the existence of deliberate overvaluing by some estate agents in order to get you locked into a long-term sole agency contract, right? That is a reasonable question that any agent can ask any seller. Okay, I'll repeat the question. I would ask the seller, if I was an agent at a marketing appraisal, I would ask the seller and I would say, are you aware of the existence of deliberate overvaluing by some agents in order to win your business, sign you into a long-term sole agency contract, meaning that you can't change agents for the duration of that contract, and the fact that those agents have the lowest success ratio of selling at all, which means that you have, in London, for example, with the two biggest agents, you have a approximately 70% chance of not selling at all if you are tricked by one of these deliberate overvaluing corporate agents. Are you aware of it? Okay. All you're doing is asking a question. You are not lying or misleading or manipulating. You're asking a question. Are you aware of it? Are you aware of it? And whatever they say, I mean, hopefully they say yes. If they say no, you then got to provide evidence of this large-scale overvaluing by those agents in your market, which is easy to do. You just go onto their websites and you go onto Rightmove or wherever you want and show, look how many properties they've got unsold for how long. Look at, are you sure you want to go with any of these overvaluing agents? Because what's likely to happen is they're all going to be telling you 300,000, when actually the truth might be nearer 250,000. Let me just show you the evidence. In other words, rather than trying to find local evidence to support a high valuation, you need to do the opposite. which is you need to make the seller afraid that they will A, not sell, and B, when they do finally realize that's happened, the market will have fallen away from them further, and they'll get even less later on than if they come on the market with you now at a sensible price. So if you can actually persuade the seller that selling now at a sensible price will attract multiple competing bidders and get the highest price soonest, uh, which is an easy thing to do because you know that that's what the case is, then you are going to make them afraid. And we can turn the whole story around and use deliberate corporate overvaluing against the culprits rather than making the problem worse by reluctantly joining in on deliberate overvaluing. Now, if you are an agent, AJ on X, thank you for your comment. How do you do that when EA is keeping them away from contacting you? Sorry, are you an agent, AJ? Could you let me know? I want to answer your question. If you're an agent and that's a question about this, I want to answer your question. Sorry, AJ, you're a buyer. This video is meant for estate agents. Okay, if you, as an agent, genuinely do have the skills, the knowledge, and the local market experience to know how to present their property and how to market it and the perfect optimum initial launch asking price that you know will get a lot of real interest from proceedable buyers and result in multiple bids so that you can actually say to the client, this is the best the market has to offer for your property. If you know how to do that, then you explain how you go about it. And you explain that this is how you get the highest price. And when they ask you, well, what do you think we'll get? The only honest answer, and it's the honest answer that you should use every time, is nobody knows what we will get. I don't know what we'll get, but what I can assure you is this is how we find out what the highest price the market will pay for your home is. Because after all, that is all your home is worth. It's all your home is worth. Okay? Putting it on at a higher asking price guarantees fewer inquiries, guarantees a lower likelihood of getting competing bids. And if sellers have got, how everyone knows this, right? Put it on a high price and wait, what happens? The market's falling away. So I am, despite what you agents might think, I am on the side of good estate agents. You might think, well then Charlie, why are you talking the market down? Because the market is going down and because lowering house prices will lead to more transactions. And let me remind you that without exchanges, you won't earn anything and you'll be working for free. Which is why in a falling market, if you've got a seller who simply won't hear and simply won't accept what you're saying, it is going to cost you less money to walk away and wish them luck than it will. And I know that you're worried as well, how did they sign up with those guys? Those guys are just going to make them drop the price, which is why what you must say is whoever you sign with, whatever you do not sign a long-term sole agency agreement. That is the one thing that if you don't want the instruction, you must tell them. Because it is true. What happens, and this is where the corporates are winning, they sign up the seller. They lock them into a 26-week sole agency contract, which is long enough to say to the seller, you're going to have to drop your price and you can't go anywhere else. And if we can't stop that from happening, transaction volumes are going to continue falling. And until it only needs a small number of agents to come out. And I was really happy to see Hamptons today putting out their market report, which is the most honest and transparent and realistic housing market report I've seen from a major agency brand in a long time. And so congratulations and kudos to Hamptons for doing that. I still think they haven't shown the true extent of how bad things are, but they are being far more transparent and honest than any other agent I've seen so far. And it's a good idea. It's a good idea because as people, I mean, how many people were on the market last year who tried to sell and didn't? Even at auction, there are sellers failing to sell and going back to auction second, third, fourth time because they put a reserve that's too high. This whole problem of not enough transactions to make a living is rooted in sellers' belief that their house is worth more than it is. And until we can break that belief and show them that their home is worth what the market will offer, this problem will continue to get worse, and more good agents will fail. All right. It is so. And by the way, if you are a mover, like a buyer watching this, or anyone watching this that knows of a good agent, please forward this video to them. Okay. I want to help. And what I'm saying is this: we use the offense of deliberate overvaluing against the agents that are doing it to prove to sellers that they are doing it, and to prove that they're not selling the properties that they're listing. And therefore, effectively, you need, what we need to do, me and the honest agents of the UK, wherever you work, what we need to do is we need to shine a spotlight of truth on the fact that if you sign up with an overvaluing agent at a too high a price, you are increasing the chances of getting a lower price from your home than you want. All right, guys, that's all I want to say for now. But please, if you're an agent, find me. I'm on LinkedIn, Charlie Lambden. Come to bestagent.co.uk, set up your account. Message me anywhere. Get in touch. I would love to do. I'm completely free, happy to do this. Get a group of you together on an unrecorded, live, private video forum with agents and have this discussion. It's what I want to do. So get in touch, but understand that it is mathematically provable that the more people who reluctantly indulge in deliberate overvaluing or knowing overvaluing, the worse transaction volumes will get. There's no point talking the market down if it's not going down, but if it is going down, the more honest you are about that, the more likely you are to win instructions with realistic sellers, because you don't want unrealistic sellers is worse than having no business at all. Any agent sitting with unsold stock on their books looks bad. Okay, you need to have under offer stuff on your books and nothing else. You need to be showing that, look, this is who I am. I'm someone that gets my clients sold, because I am not participating in the industry-wide bullshit story that the housing market is fine. Because sellers who need to move don't care what's actually happening. They just want to move. And what they want to be told is, look, this is how we find out what the market for your home is. It's a real problem. And this problem is going to get worse or it gets better. And we've got to stop it. And this is why I'm launching the Best Agent Open Source House Price Index, where we will publish exchange prices. That is what will kill overvaluing, because we will give agents who contribute to that index and sellers access to the exchange price index so that they can use it against the overvaluing corporates. Guys, thank you for watching. Please share this video with other agents who you know are suffering at the hands of rampant corporate overvaluing. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.